Waiting for the perfect moment is the most sophisticated form of self-sabotage ever devised by the human mind. You believe you are being prudent, careful, and wise by saying, "I am not ready yet." But in truth, you are merely building a beautifully decorated prison out of your own hesitations. The world does not reward those who wait for the storm to pass. It rewards those who learn to dance in the rain before they even know the steps. You are standing at the edge of a vast mist-covered lake, convinced that if you just wait a little longer, the fog will lift and a solid bridge will appear. But the bridge is built of the very stones you throw into the water as you wade in. Readiness is not a state of being. It is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the friction of growth. We treat readiness like a destination, a glowing city on a hill that we will one day reach if we just gather enough information, enough capital, or enough courage. But courage is not something you have, it is something you do. If you wait until you are no longer afraid to begin, you will die with your greatest songs still trapped inside you, silent and suffocating. Consider the gardener who refuses to plant a single seed until he is certain that every frost of the coming decade has been accounted for. He studies the soil, he measures the wind, he buys the finest tools, and he waits. He watches his neighbors plant in the mud. He watches them struggle with the weeds and smiles at their foolishness, convinced that his own harvest will be superior because it will be born of perfect preparation. But the seasons do not wait for the gardener's permission. The sun rises and sets, the rain falls, and the earth continues its indifferent cycle. Years pass, and the gardener's hands remain clean, his tools remain sharp, and his garden remains a barren patch of dust. He is still not ready. He has mastered the theory of the harvest, but has never felt the weight of a single fruit in his hand. This is the tragedy of the over-prepared mind. It becomes so enamored with the map that it forgets to walk the territory. We are often more in love with the idea of who we could be than the reality of who we are becoming through the messiness of action. There is a subtle, corrosive comfort in the phrase, "I am not ready." It grants us a temporary reprieve from the judgment of the world. As long as we are preparing, we cannot fail. As long as we are in the research phase, our potential remains infinite and unblemished. But this infinite potential is a ghost. It has no weight, no pulse, and no impact. To be ready is to be finished, and to be finished is to be dead. Life is a process of perpetual unreadiness. Every master was once a disaster, every sage was once a fool, and every monumental achievement began as a series of clumsy, uncertain steps taken by someone who felt utterly unprepared. The Zen monk does not wait for enlightenment to begin sitting. He sits until the distinction between the seeker and the sought dissolves. He knows that the path is not something you find, but something you create with every breath. If you are waiting for a sign, this is it. If you are waiting for permission, it will never come from outside of you. The universe is a silent observer of your choices, waiting to see if you have the audacity to claim your place in the unfolding drama of existence.
We often confuse preparation with procrastination. We tell ourselves that one more book, one more course, or one more conversation will finally give us the missing piece of the puzzle. But the puzzle of life is not solved by collecting pieces. It is solved by realizing that you are the artist, and the canvas is never truly blank. Every moment of hesitation is a vote for the version of yourself that stays small. We are afraid of what will happen if we step out into the unknown and discover that we are not as capable as we imagined. But the only way to expand your capability is to stretch it until it cracks. It is in those cracks that the light of wisdom enters. Stoicism teaches us that the only things we truly control are our own thoughts and actions. By obsessing over readiness, we are attempting to control the future, which is an exercise in futility. We are trying to guarantee an outcome that hasn't even begun to take shape. The only readiness that matters is the readiness to fail, the readiness to be judged, and the readiness to begin again.
If we look closely at the nature of fear, we see that it is almost always directed at a future that doesn't exist. We fear the shame of a failed venture, the sting of rejection, or the exhaustion of a long journey. But none of these things are happening now. In this present moment, there is only the breath, the heartbeat, and the opportunity to move. The illusion of readiness is a wall we build to protect ourselves from the discomfort of the present. We tell ourselves that we will be ready when we have more money, more time, or more support. But these are just external conditions, and external conditions are never perfect. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be a shadow of doubt. The question is not whether you are ready, but whether you are willing to be unready and move anyway. The bird does not wait for the wind to be perfect before it leaps from the branch. It trusts its wings, or rather, it trusts the process of flight itself.
We must acknowledge a hard truth. You might never feel ready. That feeling of certainty you are chasing is a mirage. Even the most successful people in history often felt like imposters, standing on stages they didn't think they deserved, leading movements they didn't feel qualified to lead. They didn't succeed because they felt ready. They succeeded because they didn't let the lack of that feeling stop them. They understood that readiness is a retroactive label we apply to those who survived the beginning. When we look back on our lives, the moments we regret are rarely the times we started before we were ready. They are the times we waited so long that the window of opportunity slammed shut. We regret the silence where there should have been a voice, the stillness where there should have been a step, and the safety where there should have been a risk. Consider the architecture of a great cathedral. The builders who laid the first stones knew they would never see the finished spire. They were not ready to see the end, but they were ready to lay the first stone. They understood that greatness is a multi-generational dialogue with the impossible. Your life is your own cathedral. You cannot wait to see the finished stained glass before you dig the foundation. You must work in the dark, in the mud, and in the uncertainty of the first few layers. The readiness comes in the doing. It comes in the calloused hands, the tired eyes, and the growing sense of competence that can only be earned through experience. Knowledge without action is just a sophisticated form of entertainment. You can study the mechanics of swimming for a lifetime, but until you jump into the water, you are just a person standing on the shore with a very expensive imagination.
What if the feeling of being unready is actually a sign of respect for the task at hand? What if it is a recognition of the magnitude of what you are trying to achieve? Instead of viewing your hesitation as a flaw, see it as an indicator of importance. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't be afraid. The fear is the compass pointing toward the work you are meant to do. The resistance you feel is the friction of your potential grinding against the inertia of your current state. This friction creates heat, and that heat can either burn you out or forge you into something stronger. The Zen strategist knows that the obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. Every moment you spend waiting for readiness is a moment you spend reinforcing your own limitations. You are practicing the art of staying where you are.
Let us explore the concept of the perfect moment. We imagine it as a cosmic alignment where all the lights turn green, all the voices are silent, and the path ahead is illuminated with absolute clarity. But such moments are rare and usually short-lived. Real life is lived in the yellow lights, in the noise, and in the dim shadows of the uncertain path. If you only move when the way is clear, you will be overtaken by those who are willing to move through the fog. The Stoic warrior does not ask for an easy battle. He asks for the strength to endure a difficult one. He knows that his character is revealed not in his victories, but in his willingness to show up when the odds are against him and he feels utterly unprepared. This is the essence of true readiness, the inner conviction that whatever happens, you have the capacity to respond with wisdom and virtue.
Many people spend their entire lives in the waiting room of existence. They are waiting for the kids to grow up, for the mortgage to be paid, for the economy to improve, or for a feeling of peace that never seems to arrive. They are waiting for life to start, not realizing that the waiting is the life they are choosing. The clock is not a tool for measuring time. It is a reminder of the finite nature of our opportunity. Every tick is a loss, and every talk is a call to action.
The tragedy of the unlived life is not that it ends, but that it never truly began. We are so afraid of making a mistake that we make the biggest mistake of all. We do nothing. We choose the slow decay of the status quo over the sudden shock of growth. But nature does not tolerate stagnation. That which does not grow, withers. That which does not move becomes a monument to its own fear.
Let us pivot our perspective. Perhaps the reason you don't feel ready is because you are trying to be ready for the whole journey, instead of just the next step. You are trying to solve the problems of mile 10 before you have even walked the first yard. This is a cognitive error. You cannot see the obstacles of the future from the vantage point of the present. As you move forward, your perspective changes. The problems that seem insurmountable today will be trivial tomorrow because you will be a different person tomorrow. The act of moving changes the mover. You are not a fixed entity. You are a dynamic process. By the time you reach the difficult parts of the journey, you will have the tools and the experience to handle them, but you can only acquire those tools by starting.
Think of a writer staring at a blank page. The more he thinks about the brilliance of the finished novel, the more paralyzed he becomes. He is not ready to write a masterpiece, but he is ready to write one sentence, and then another, and then another. The masterpiece is not an event. It is an accumulation of small, often mediocre moments of effort. The genius is not the one who has the perfect vision from the start, but the one who is willing to produce enough garbage to eventually find the gold. If you are waiting for your work to be perfect before you show it to the world, you are denying the world the gift of your growth. We don't just want to see the finished product. We want to see the struggle, the evolution, and the human spirit overcoming its own doubts. The senior Stoic understands that the opinions of others are a major source of our unreadiness. We fear that if we start before we are ready, people will see our flaws, our mistakes, and our vulnerabilities. We are performing for an audience that isn't even paying attention. Most people are too busy worrying about their own lack of readiness to care about yours. And even if they do judge you, their judgment is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. Your worth is not determined by your success or failure, but by the integrity of your effort. If you act with purpose and virtue, you have already succeeded, regardless of the outcome. The result is an external factor. The effort is an internal one. Focus on what is yours to control and let the rest go. There is a profound peace in accepting your own unreadiness. When you stop trying to be perfect, you are free to be present. You can stop holding your breath and start living. This is the Zen of the beginning. It is the realization that there is no gap between who you are and who you need to be to start. You are enough as you are, and you will become more as you go. The seed is not a failed tree, it is a perfect seed. The sprout is not an incomplete forest, it is a perfect sprout. Each stage of the process has its own beauty and its own necessity. Do not rush to the end, but do not linger at the start. We often use the excuse of not being ready as a mask for our fear of responsibility. To start is to commit. To commit is to be accountable. If we never start, we can never be blamed for failing, but we can be blamed for wasting the gift of our existence. You have been given a unique set of talents, experiences, and perspectives. To hold them back because you don't feel ready is a form of spiritual theft. You are depriving the world of what only you can provide. The universe did not conspire for billions of years to create you just so you could sit on the sidelines and wait for a feeling of certainty. You are a participant in the great work of creation, and your participation is required now, not later. Let us consider the nature of mastery. A master is not someone who never fails. A master is someone who has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. The master knows that every failure is a lesson, every mistake is a correction, and every setback is an opportunity to refine his technique. He is not afraid of being unready because he knows that unreadiness is the natural state of the learner. He remains a student forever,
always looking for the next challenge that will push him beyond his comfort zone. If you feel comfortable, you are not growing. If you feel ready, you are probably aiming too low. True ambition requires you to reach for things that are currently beyond your grasp.
The strategic rehook here is to ask yourself, what if your unreadiness is actually your greatest asset? When you are unready, you are forced to be creative. You are forced to be resourceful. You are forced to rely on your intuition and your grit rather than your polished skills. The most innovative breakthroughs often come from people who didn't know the rules well enough to be constrained by them. They were too busy trying to survive the beginning to realize that what they were doing was impossible. Your lack of preparation can be a source of freshness and originality. Embrace the amateur within you. The amateur plays for the love of the game, while the professional often plays for the fear of losing his status.
We must also confront the shadow of perfectionism. Perfectionism is not a quest for excellence. It is a defensive maneuver. It is a way of hiding our humanity behind a facade of flawlessness. But it is our flaws that make us relatable, and our struggles that make us strong. A life without mistakes is a life without adventure. If you want to live a story worth telling, you must be willing to endure some messy chapters. You must be willing to be the protagonist who is outclassed, outnumbered, and out of his depth, but who keeps moving forward anyway. This is the hero's journey, and it always begins with a feeling of being utterly unready for the call to adventure.
The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, can help us overcome our hesitation. Instead of imagining the perfect success, imagine the worst-case scenario. Imagine that you start and you fail miserably. You are embarrassed, you lose money, and you have to start over. If you can accept that possibility and still find a reason to move, then you are truly ready. Not because you are certain of success, but because you are certain of your own resilience. You realize that failure is not a terminal condition, it is a temporary state. You can lose everything except your character and your ability to choose your next action. Once you stop fearing the worst, you are free to pursue the best.
As we approach the synthesis of our inquiry, we must look at the concept of time. We speak of time as if it were a resource we can save or spend. But time is not a bank account. It is a river. You cannot step into the same water twice. The moment you are waiting for is already passing. The you who is waiting for readiness will not be the same you who arrives at the future. By delaying your start, you are effectively killing the version of yourself that could have existed today. You are trading the vibrant reality of the present for a hollow promise of the future. The only time that is truly ours is the infinitesimal point between the past and the future. To live in that point is to act.
The Zen monk tells us that the mountains are just mountains, and the trees are just trees. We are the ones who layer them with meanings, expectations, and fears. We are the ones who invent the concept of readiness. In the natural world, things simply happen when the conditions are met. The flower blooms when the temperature and light are right. It doesn't wonder if it is ready to be beautiful. It just is. You are a part of that same natural process. The conditions for your beginning are already met because you are here, you have the desire, and you have the ability to take one step. Anything beyond that is a mental construction that serves no purpose other than to delay your flowering.
The logical pivot here is to realize that the search for readiness is actually a search for safety. We want to be safe from the consequences of our choices, but there is no safety in a life unlived. The safest place for a ship is in the harbor, but that is not what ships are for. Ships are built to face the vast, unpredictable ocean. They are built to be battered by waves and driven by winds. You were built for the storm. You were built for the challenge. You were built to discover what lies beyond the horizon of your current understanding. To stay in the harbor because you are not ready for the sea is to betray your own nature. Let us consider the final 5% of our journey. The reveal is not a complex formula or a secret ritual. It is a simple, devastatingly clear realization. The reason you don't feel ready is because readiness is not something you feel. Readiness is something you decide. It is an act of will, not a state of emotion. It is the moment you stop asking, "Am I ready?" and start saying, "I am beginning." In that shift, the entire universe changes. The resistance that was holding you back becomes the wind in your sails. The fear that was paralyzing you becomes the fuel for your journey. The uncertainty that was a wall becomes a door. You will never be ready in the way you imagine. You will never have all the answers, all the resources, or all the confidence. But you have enough. You have always had enough. The ghost of readiness has been haunting you, whispered by the part of your mind that is afraid of your own power. It is time to lay that ghost to rest. It is time to stop preparing for a life that is already happening. The bridge will not appear until you step into the mist. The harvest will not exist until you plant the seed in the cold, unready earth. The spire will not reach the heavens until you lay the first stone in the mud. The truth is that the most ready you will ever be is right now. Not because you are perfect, but because right now is the only time that exists. Every second you spend in the waiting room is a second stolen from the masterpiece you are meant to create. Take the step, make the call, write the line, start the fire. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. The world is waiting for you to show up. The illusion of the perfect moment is gone, and in its place is the raw, beautiful, terrifying reality of the present. Embrace your unreadiness. Wear it like armor. Let it be the proof of your courage and the foundation of your wisdom. The journey doesn't start when you are ready. The journey starts when you move. And you are moving now. You have already begun. The path is unfolding beneath your feet. Do not look back. Do not look too far ahead. Just breathe and take the next step. And the next. And the next. This is the only way to live. This is the only way to be free. The wait is over. The silence is broken. You are here. You are doing it. You are at last exactly where you need to be. The mastery you seek is not in the destination, but in the unwavering commitment to the process, in the quiet dignity of the work, and in the profound realization that the only thing you ever needed to be ready for was the simple, monumental act of beginning. Every breath is a new start. Every heartbeat a new opportunity. You are the architect of this moment. Build it with the bricks of your action and the mortar of your resolve. The fog is lifting, not because the weather has changed, but because you have stepped into it. The lake is crossing, not because a bridge appeared, but because you chose to swim. You are the creator, the dancer, and the song. The illusion has dissolved, and the truth remains. You were always ready, because you were always capable of choosing. Now, choose. And in that choice, find the peace that passes all understanding, the strength that defies all odds, and the life that has been waiting for you to finally arrive. This is the end of the waiting. This is the beginning of everything else. Forget the map. Trust the path. You are home.